Welcome back to the channel Edify. So today we gonna learn the unit 2. Yesterday we seen the very crisp part of unit 1 in the Pedagogy of English, which covers pedagogical analysis. This is very simplified introduction unit which we have seen in yesterday. Okay, so let's have a short summary of what we did studied in yesterday's pedagogical analysis. We did noted about how the language, English language, plays an important role, and what are all the pedagogy plays an important role in English and even in the teaching method. So pedagogy is nothing but teaching method. So how the teaching method helps the student to learn perfectly and how it helps the teachers as well. Okay, so when it comes to teaching method, pedagogy is nothing but teaching methods, right? So we do have teaching models. We should have some models to teach to the student. So first we should know what is the subject, as we discussed. After knowing the subject, we should come across dividing the topics, creating the teaching aids, teaching models, everything. So today it's all about teaching models. So in today's modern world, everything is changing rapidly except for the change. So except the change, everything is changing. So I would like to quote the APJ's quote that change is permanent. Change is what? Permanent. Every another thing is getting changed. And even in this world, 21st century, everything is getting changed. And here, the task of the teachers are being so complex and responsible. And the expectations towards the teacher is getting increased. The expectation towards the teachers are getting increased. It's not like that. There is a period, I remember, where they used to say, our ancestors used to say, they'll just complete their, their schooling and they'll become teacher. That kind of period was there. But now, with multiple degrees along with extra teaching skills, extra teaching courses, the teachers are becoming teachers now. The teachers will learn till the end of their life. And now, in this modern world, expectations are really hitting so high. And in the classroom, there are number of challenges that the curriculum is bringing to the teachers. The current curriculum, we have lot of syllabuses, normal syllabus, the CBSE syllabus, NCERT syllabus, lot of changes are there, right? Lot of differences are there from one school to another school, from one classroom to another classroom. Everything is there. Okay, next, teachers have to make the changes in their teaching to overcome such challenges. So it is in whose hand? It is in teacher's hand to make the proper changes. Okay. So next, the model. Where does this model come from? The word modulus, which is from Latin word modus, meaning means little measure. Meaning little measure. From there is what this teaching model came. Okay. So many younger students thinks that the kids model is either their toys or simple copies of reality. Simple copies of reality. But it is everyday meaning of model became how? Model car, model airplanes, model ships, like that. Students is often thinking that reality's copies is what? Model. We see the big cars in real and the toys cars in as like model. That's what normal small grade students will think it of. Even some adults will think that. In other words, model can come in many shape, size, styles. It's not like there is a fixed shape, fixed size and fixed style for a model. There are many sizes and shapes are there in a model according to the situation and the content which the teacher is gonna teach it. Okay. So, teaching models or systematic approaches to teaching, right, that guide the teacher to deliver content effectively. So it is a greatest support the teacher have. The teaching model is the greatest support that teacher have to make that deliver content effectively. And there will be assumptions made by the student also. So they'll have expectation. To fulfill also, the teacher should work hard to fulfill the student's expectation here. And this word model is used in ideal or as a small form of an object. Ideal form of an object or a small form of an object. So actually H.C. Wild, listen carefully, H.C. Wild have given one definition: to conform in behavior action and to direct one's to action according to some particular design or idea is called model. This is what? Model. Okay. So they are blueprints or patterns that organize content. So we can call this model as a blueprint or a patterns to organize the teaching content. So if it is in particular pattern, we have to go in that pattern. We'll plan a model for unit 1, 2, 3, 4 and we'll go in that structure. For unit 1, we'll have subtopics. We have 4 models for unit 1. Then we'll go in that particular order which is organized. Okay. And guide teaching strategies. If we prepare a model, of course, we'll come up with some strategies as well, which is helpful for the student to learn. There are many authors given definition for the teaching models. For example, Hyman, Joyce, Paul D. Egan, Joyce and Whale, Allen and Ryan. There are many definitions are there. Okay. So next, characteristics of teaching model. What are the characteristics that teaching model will have? There is listed 10 characteristics. I just summed up for you guys with 4 characteristics. Okay. So the important is provide structured steps for teaching and learning. It will be providing some sort of pattern, plan which is prepared in advance that helps the success of the teaching learning process. So in this teaching learning process, it helps in providing structured steps and aim to achieve specific learning objectives. So it's not like randomly we'll be completing a lesson and coming with some objective. We have specific learning objective that give you a specific guidelines, general teaching techniques and the sense of teaching techniques is different. With the model, you will be going with specific, not general. And the specific objectives by specifying the teaching activities and controlling teaching learning environment. Controlling teaching learning environment is also important when you have a model of teaching. Okay. So, and it is helping in preparing a proper teaching learning environment. We need to maintain that environment. The proper teaching learning environment, it is really helpful and can be applied to different subjects and levels. It can be applied to different subjects also and different level also if we have the proper structure of model. If we know how to prepare a model, if we know what are the proper characteristics of model, then we can use it for different subjects as well. And the final point I would like to add is it really save the energy, time and efforts of the teacher when we have proper teaching models which will be helpful to the learners. The best resources the teacher have is teaching model. Okay. Next, types of teaching model. We do have some types of teaching model. It's not like there is one teaching model or 2 teaching model. We do have some types of teaching models. In that, the first is information processing model. Information processing model, which is helpful in problem solving skill. So, it is completely based on the information and how, the process, how it will go. From the information they'll get, okay, this is how we can solve this problem. For example, we can draw the square and inside one cross mark without taking a hand. This is one popular model, right? So after learning it, the student will feel that okay, I got to learn this. From this particular information, I came to know about how to solve the particular problem, like that. Okay. Social interaction model that focus on group activities and cooperative learning. If you notice keenly, students won't be that much interactive. Some students won't be that much interactive, or they won't come up and speak. They won't show their talents out even though we push. But when it comes to group activities, at least to ensure their participation, at least to ensure their involvement, they'll be giving their inputs. They'll be showing their words out. So, the social interaction model is really important in cooperative learning. Personal development model, that is self-awareness and the emotional growth. So, it's all about individual. How the social interaction model helps in the socializing. This personal development model helps in the individual students' growth. Individual students' growth. Okay, so it's all about group and this, everything is clear. Now, behavior modification model. It is really important that a student should grow as a perfect human with proper discipline. So that helps in behavior modification model. More than studying and getting the first mark, the behavior is important. So that is helpful in behavior modification model. Students will study a lot of morals and everything in their childhood, which will be by innate they have in their brain, and they will be implementing in their grown-up stages as well. Okay. So next, common teaching models in English pedagogy. So when it comes to English pedagogy, we have common teaching models. That is inquiry training model. That is questioning and investigation. When you read the model name, you'll know inquiry. So it is about querying about something and getting the answer, kind of investigation, journalism kind of thing. Concept attainment model. So that help to understand and identify new concepts. Based on concepts, the model will be there. Advanced organizer is nothing. Framing the proper framework before teaching the content. That will be provided. That is what advanced level. And role play. Role play will be mostly used in languages. Whatever language it is, language paper, which build the communication and experiential learning. The supplementary lessons will be done in a role play manner. And the poems, even the single author might have written in a conversation way. So that is also done in a role play manner. So these are the things which comes under common teaching models in English pedagogy, and even this will be applicable to other languages as well. This role play and advanced organizer thing will be applicable to other languages as well. So this is what simplified common teaching models, not like this is alone. There are other models too. Okay. So when it comes to inquiry training model, let's look into the objective and the steps. So the objective of inquiry training model is develop logical thinking and problem solving. So first, the step to do is present a puzzling situation. So it is all about puzzling. The student have to find out. Encourage student to ask question. They'll ask what is that, what is that. They'll encourage. It is a kind of encouragement we should give to student to ask the question. And guide them to collect evidence and find solutions. So now they'll think, okay, if I have given a puzzle to find out an animal name, they'll ask question. Will that animal is pet animal, or it will live in forest? That kind of questions they'll come up. Then I have to guide them to collect the evidence and find solution. What is the evidence you have that? How many letters are there? How the background is designed. So now they'll come up with the evidence and they'll find a solution. So now analyzing story's theme or moral is what the application we got. Okay, this is all about inquiry training model. Now, concept attainment model, that is, learner will identify the concept by comparing example and non-example. One, identify it, presenting both positive and negative example, encouraging the observation, and they can come into interfere and they can interrupt it, guiding the student to define the concept. So here, identifying noun, tense, literary devices, these kind of activities can be done in the concept attainment model. This will be really helpful in teaching these kind of applications. Okay. Role play. As I told, role play is really helpful in all the languages paper. Develop communication skill and empathy. When you get into a particular role, you jump into that character and you feel that character where the empathy get developed. So there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is something we just feel for the other person. Empathy is feeling for other person in being in their position. Thinking that we are in that position and thinking, that's what empathy. Okay. So the steps that you have to do is assign real life situations or characters. Student will be acting out to the situation and conducting the reflection and discussion. Discussion is really important in this kind of model. Okay, so discussion is really important when you do a role play. After completing the role play, discussion is really important about analyzing the character, discussing how did they perform, their body language, their communication, the pronunciation, everything. And practicing dialogues, interviews, storytelling, these kind of things works out in applying to the English. Okay, I love the role play model really well. Okay, benefits of teaching models. So what are the benefits we have while we come up with the teaching model? It provides systematic and scientific teaching, increases student engagement. When we get into activities, they are not sitting idle and listening, right? They are involving, they have to listen to do their activity, so the engagement increases here. Help and achieve target learning outcome, because we already discussed in unit 1, we plan the lesson from the objective to the evaluation. So to bring the expected outcome, this will be helpful. Make English interesting and interactive. So other subjects like maths and all will be calculating, they'll come up with some numbers, that will make interesting. In science, the facts, historical events. But when it comes to language, English, these models are making so interesting and interactive. Especially in grammar classes, if we use teaching models, it will be more interesting. Okay. Coming to the end of the part, I did sum it up in very, the smallest manner. It is a wide area and wide subject. It is like just few minutes sum up, all round up video. Okay, so when it comes to conclusion, teaching model is a bridge theory and practice. You have to ensure that students are getting proper expected outcome via the model we are using. Effective use in English pedagogy will improve the language learning, and teachers should select the model based on objective content and learners' needs. Based on their classes also, we have to do it. Yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll meet in the next unit, that is third unit. Bye.